Senile. How about that storm last night? Did you guys get it?
We got a little bit. Wasn't bad.
Yeah.
We must have gotten a ton of rain because it was still pretty wet out when I went out this morning.
Yeah, it's still pretty
God damn.
right here.
Well, go on. Get out of here. Okay. So many things. The tweet is out.
The tweet is out.
We'll be starting in a second. The tweet is on. Okay. All right. I think I'm about ready.
Oh, I'm so glad.
I'm so glad. So glad you're so supportive.
Oh, am I muted? I'm not muted. Sorry about that.
You are not.
So why the freaking hold up?
GoNintendo Podcast, Webisode 777. The Togedemaru Podcast.
What?
Togedemaru. Number 777. Mom Brain, will you please do us the honors and tell us about Togedemaru?
Sure thing. I can do that. Togeda for you. Togedemaru. When it's surprised or agitated, the 14 fur spikes on its back will stand up involuntarily.
Whoa, that's got to be more than Sonic.
Probably.
How many do you think Sonic's got? I see like 4. Binkum, bunkum, bunkum, and then I guess you could count his ears as 2 more. Back up, buck up.
I don't know.
6 spikes.
Okay. They're a foot tall, 7 pounds, male and female gender. The category is my favorite, roly-poly. And its abilities include lightning rod and iron barbs.
Togedemaru, the Pokemon, doesn't fit as nicely into a song as Sonic the Hedgehog does.
No.
Togedemaru, the Pokemon. No, that's not as good. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Wow.
Thanks, Mom Brain. That was great.
The GoNintendo
You're too
Podcast is
slow.
part of the Greenlit Podcast Network at greenlitpodcast.com.
Oh, thank you. I did forget to do that. This week's episode of the GoNintendo Podcast is sponsored by Keen One Girl Army. It's a tactical turn-based puzzle adventure. Keen One Girl Army comes from publisher Phoenix and developer Kat Nagiri, and it's now available on Switch and Steam. Journey from your remote island home through puzzle-filled dungeons to the big city on your trusty roller skates, channeling your inner warrior to save the world from an evil corporation. Slice up zombies, trap ninjas, and eradicate robots and other foes. Enter hidden shrines and solve the puzzles within to unlock abilities like regeneration, a telekinetic shield, and devastating long-range attacks. Pick it up on a Switch, eShop, or Steam today for $16. Thank you very much to the gang behind Keen One Girl Army for sponsoring today's podcast. Yay!
Wow.
Oh, Keen, yeah.
Are you keen on that game, Nikki Hill?
They make good shoes. Solid outing in the shoe department.
Well, Mom Brain's a shoe person. I am not. Is Keen a shoe company?
A brand, yeah. I've never worn a pair of Keens, but I know they exist.
Scale of 1 to 10.
I don't know. I've never worn them.
I need an answer.
I had one pair that was like maybe an 8 for me. I've got problems with my feet. Other pairs that I tried, more like 4, but I blame my feet more so than the shoes.
Hello, Steel Diver, and Grantimus, and Shillelagh, and Drake, and Kirby, and Mom Brain, and Rodney, and Nico Darunia, and Gecko Kitsune, and Nintimdo, and Robot Face, who's showing off Shin-Chan's Pat Pat in the chat,
it's
which
so
I greatly
great.
appreciate. And Anastasia Beaverhausen. Joe is cool. And there's a pineapple Pat Pat as well. Hailey and Tom, and whoever else I didn't see. Thanks for King Talsha, one of my favorite names. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I greatly appreciate it.
Just Raw Meat appreciates it. That's all.
I do, yes.
Yep.
I hope that
Which podcast number is this?
This is 7. 7.
Is that what I sound like?
7.
Is that what it sounds like? Okay.
Is that what I sound like?
That is what you sound like, Josh.
Is that what I sound like?
Actually, Josh, can we hear what you sound like? I hear you have
Is that what I sound
a
like?
singing voice.
Oh no! Hello, Giant Reggie. Ooh,
Why would you say
I'm
that?
sorry, Josh. I didn't
I'm
mean.
the world's best singer.
Yes, you are. I didn't mean to offend you, Josh. I'm so sorry.
Is that what I sound like?
You sound beautiful all the time. Beautiful. I remember all those college courses you took for singing, and they really paid off.
A big hello to my fans.
Yes. Thanks, Josh. Mom Brain is here.
I am, and I appreciate all of you.
How are you doing, Mom Brain?
I'm good, but I got a wild story to tell you in a minute, which relates to how I'm doing right now.
Hello, Nikki Hill. Nikki Hill is here.
Ahoy, hoy.
How are you doing, Nikki Hill?
I'm doing all right. I skipped a family gathering to be here.
Aww.
That was his own decision. We did not force him to do that. Well,
I
maybe
was told I
Josh
had
did.
to
I don't
choose.
know.
I was told, nope, can't do the podcast any other way. Got to choose over us or your family.
No one said that but you.
Uh-uh.
Yes, Joe is cool. Music College High School. That's where Josh and I went, and I did not major or minor in music. Mom Brain.
That was a really great story.
It was. You're right, Josh. Mom Brain. You have a story you want to tell us?
Yeah, I had a wild story. Yesterday, I went out for the very first time to eat with a good friend of mine.
Where?
We went to the Love and Oven
Mm?
because she is vegan. So it was, a nice, good, easy choice. And they have nice outdoor seating. And there's a trail that we went on afterwards. But on my way there, it's a little bit of a drive. On my way there, I had the windows down, I had some music on. I was really feeling it. And I had my window down and my left arm was resting, on the windowsill of
Kirby
the car.
says their prices are too high. I would imagine they are highly priced there because they're all plant food.
Well, yeah, it's high, but it's
Hi, Aloe Wolf.
appropriate for what it is,
Oh, okay.
So I had my arm resting on the windowsill of the car, and all of a sudden I felt something hit my arm, and then a pain, and it was a bee. It had I was going probably 45 or 50 miles an hour, and it had landed on my arm, and I watched it stinging me, and I felt horrible because it was a honeybee, and I didn't want to smash it, so I flicked it because I didn't want to
It's dead
kill
anyway.
it. But then I thought to myself afterwards, it must have died after it stung me. So now I'm it's so itchy,
Did
but
you
it
get the
hurts.
stinger out?
It wasn't in there.
Oh.
It was just it had just begun to stung me.
King Talsha says, I'm amazed you've never been out to eat before, Mom Brain. It's
Aw.
true. Very first time ever she went out to
For
eat.
the first time during the lockdown.
I want to say it's probably because you've gotten to the point of staying at home as much as raw meat. So now,
Hi,
anytime
Froyukin.
you go. I'm sorry.
I said hi, Froyukin. Sorry.
So now when you go out, you have to be extra cautious because disaster
Yeah.
lurks around every corner.
Yeah, right? Saved up and waiting for me.
Sitting at home for 14 years, I went out for a walk today and I fell and hurt myself.
Right? Yeah.
Stayed inside for another 8 years, went outside, slipped in the mud, tore my pants open.
Listen, it's too dangerous out there. Robot Face says, in my 34 years, I've only been stung 4 times. Wow. Hello, Ling Triforce.
Well, Remy, have you been stung more than that?
Yes, I've definitely been stung more than 4 times. 100%.
Okay.
I was thinking how I, a couple days ago, when I was younger, I was in my backyard and I saw a
Hi.
bee was flying around me and I went to swing at it, karate chop it, and it stung me right in the pinky.
Oh.
Hi,
And I looked and it was still in there and it was laughing at me.
hi, Evam. My dad got stung over 70 times at once. True story. Maybe that's why he's as weird as he is.
That story was boring and dumb.
Thank you, Josh. Yes, he was stung over 70 times when he was in a bucket truck for work, and my dad was a telephone man. He opened up the junction box on the top of the pole, and there was a giant nest in there, and he was getting stung like crazy. And he's like, I don't know how many feet in the air in the bucket truck, and he's got to hit the button to come down. So the bucket's like, as he's like getting stung, and it got to the point where he was like, I can't take it anymore, and he jumped out of the bucket to land on the top of the truck. And then he jumped off the top of the truck, and two women saw that he was being attacked by bees, so they decided the best thing to do was to beat him with their purses. So that's what they did. Oh, man. And then he came home, and I remember seeing him. He looked like he didn't have he obviously had like marks all over his body, but he looked
Dad,
like...
Did you go to the gym? Because you look swole.
He was obviously like very drained and very like pale. It had taken...
Did he go to the hospital?
Yeah, he did. And I forget what they did, but they gave him something. But yeah, it was a rough day.
Hiley and Tom says, I got stung about 20 times in one instance while hiking. Stepped on a rotten tree log, broke it, and a horde of bees chased me from within. It was awful.
Yes, King Talsha, the story is true. It really 100% is.
Did you see what Kirby said about his dad?
Kirby says, my dad was mowing the lawn and mowed over an underground wasp nest, and they attacked his junk and everything. Oh, man. This new mower gives one hell of a ride, man.
I'm assuming it was a walking mower. Push mower. We had one of those underground wasps nest out here, and I stirred it up while I was mowing and saw it, and I was like, I'm gonna go inside until this settles down. It was scary.
They're out to get you.
That was 9 months later, though. Kirby had a younger sibling.
9 months later, Kirby was born, I believe. The child, the product of a father and a bee to the balls. Bee balls.
Good old bee balls.
Here comes old bee balls. That's what they call his dad. Here comes bee balls.
Here comes bee balls.
Coming to hang out tonight, bee balls.
My mom's cousin's husband got stung by one of them murder hornets or whatever they're called.
I'd like to change my name to Zap Nuts.
And
yes.
Said if there was more, if he had gotten stung by more than one, he probably would have died. Like, he was in such excruciating pain.
They call it murder. Yeah, I heard they're really terrible. I mean,
but also, if you look at the reactions from murder hornet wasps or stings, murder hornet stings, and the description of Takis, it's very similar side effects there.
Mom Brain and I are both convinced you said murder instead of murder.
I also said,
hey, you guys hear about those murder hornets?
Murder hornet wasps.
All right. I want to say a special thank you to Name of Austin, who has given us yet another wonderful review this week. He has reviewed Ancestors Legacy on the Switch. And as I've said before, but I will repeat, Austin and I have this special thing going on right now where he will do video reviews
where he will touch me.
But he doesn't know what he's going to review. I just send him the code, and in the video, he finds out live what he's reviewing. So you can check out his video review for Ancestors Legacy on our YouTube channel. Thank you to Austin, or Name of Austin, for doing that. I greatly appreciate it, and I always enjoy his reviews. What's up?
Ryukin wants to know if we talked about the new Unsolved Mysteries yet.
We have. I mean, you can go ahead and talk about it. This is the part of the show where we talk about whatever.
I watched all 6 episodes on Thursday night.
6 episodes?
There are 12 altogether, but only 6 are out right now. I don't know when the next 6 are coming out.
I watched them, and they were great. But there was one about aliens, and that's really what scared me as a kid a lot. I mean, besides the theme song. So, but I really enjoyed them. And you can, what I really want to know now is, are we going to help solve them?
Is aliens real?
You know what I mean? Like, I'm really hoping that, like,
well, like I said, there's the official website. If you have any tips, you go to the website.
And they say it at the end of the episode too. You can send.
Well, like I said, the original show solved, thanks to viewer tips, over 250 cases, or somewhere around 250 cases. So Out of these 6, hopefully maybe one of them can get solved. I don't know.
I hope so.
But they are all unsolved for the time being. But
the internet, people of the internet have band together to solve other mysteries.
That is true. I mean, I'm sure there was one woman doing like DNA tracing and stuff. She's the one that solved the Golden State Killer, right? I don't know. Is that true?
Yeah, I think so.
DNA
stuff is crazy.
I'm sure there's
a true crime true crime podcast.
Yep.
about murder.
Is that what I sound like?
I think it's called Bear Creek. Pretty crazy story, like really sad stuff, but it's also really crazy how science can figure stuff out. Hey, call that science. Like? Get them over here and get them figure this out.
Science and technology. Did I say happy 4th of July to everybody?
Not sure.
Happy 4th of July, everybody.
Whoa,
Hello.
As you said that, somebody shot off a firework.
I heard that. Hello, Lanquin. If you celebrate the 4th of July, happy 4th of July. If you don't celebrate it, then happy July 4th anyway, because you can celebrate any day. So why not celebrate today?
We've been celebrating 4th of July since 8 o'clock this morning.
Wow. Nico Daruni is bringing up some dirt I didn't even know. He says, Josh, tell us about your relationship with Hannah Montana. Is this true?
What's wrong with you?
Whoops.
Josh, are you dodging this question?
No, not at all.
What's your relationship with Hannah Montana? What's the story?
We'll just have to wait and see.
Best of
That's
both.
none of your business.
Best of both worlds. So yeah, happy 4th of July. I was woken up on 4th of July by what this stupid town does every 4th of July. I don't know. You know.
Please don't. It's not stupid.
It is
why
stupid.
Is it stupid? Because you go to sleep at 6 o'clock in the morning.
It's one day a year.
It's the weekend. People want to.
It's not always
people
the
want
weekend.
to shop. People need to shop.
It's
People
a national holiday.
want to sleep on the weekend. They're like, thank God, I finally got a day off. I can sleep a little bit later, but not in this
not
town.
Even a day off, pal.
What?
Or other people say day off.
Yeah. Because 8 o'clock they came through.
Usually it's
They
8.
get like every fire truck and every police car and every whatever else.
They still do the parade then?
No.
Well, kind of. It's only the fire trucks that come through town because we don't have a police department.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Whatever drives through, blasts its sirens. They have a procession where it's all like, woo, woo, blah, 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 blah.
Right. So
This guy.
And
the
I go,
town
You got
fire
this morning.
trucks come through and wake everybody up.
They go up and down every street.
And then,
Including just the one in front of your house.
right.
Yeah, why don't they just start at the beginning and go to the end and that's it? Everybody can hear them. It's not a big town.
Yeah, but you can't see them if you. So then, normally there's a 4th of July parade here. I believe it might be the longest running 4th of July parade in the state.
Not no more.
But this year, of course, it was canceled. But a bunch of the local fire, police, and rescue departments, fire and rescue departments got together and they had like a traveling parade that went around to a couple towns. So they came through.
So we
Was
had
the-
to go through
the
it twice.
Calliope there?
No, I was really sad about it.
I don't, we're doing a parade already. I get it. That's fine. Blast all the sirens, do all that stuff. But why at 8 o'clock do we have to get all woken up by these trucks driving through?
Because you want to get your day started.
You know what? I don't want them telling me when to start my day. Do I drive around in front of their house and start their day by beeping my horn? No, I don't. And Mom
Listen,
Brain's
I woke up. I got out of bed at like 11 o'clock. I'm pretty upset about it. I
Mom
wish I had
Brain's
a fire
famous
truck
line
come down the street
is-
to wake me up.
is always babies are sleeping. If I'm like beeping a horn outside or being loud outside, she's like, babies are sleeping. Well, babies are probably sleeping at, well, maybe not. Little kids
You
are
know what,
sleeping at
Romy?
8 in the morning.
You know what? Babies love fire trucks too.
Well, you know what? Cats and dogs don't. Terrified, most of them. Terrified. This poor little cat, look at how tuckered out he is because he was so terrified this morning. Look at him. Oh, God, the memories. You went outside this morning when they first drove by and he walked into the living room and he was like terrified.
Well, probably
Ears up,
because he
eyes
knows
wide open.
when that usually happens, it means that
Whole crowd of
later the
people
children are coming.
Yeah. But anyway, happy 4th of July. All right, let's do some news, my brain. Can you hit me with that news jingle? That old jingle jangle?
I mean, I guess.
Thanks, Mom Brain.
You're welcome.
We have a really interesting story here. We have the weekly UK software sales, which we usually don't report on because, it's just the UK. They're not a huge market. It is what it is. Unless something
It's just
really
the UK.
interesting story here.
Unless something big happens.
Local fire department doesn't believe people like to sleep.
And we have something interesting to talk about with the UK sales this week. Number 1 was The Last of Us Part 2, which is not surprising. But number 2 is the real surprising one. Number 2 was Bravely Second End Layer. That's a 3DS game that came out back in 2016, and it was the number 2 best-selling game in the UK for the week. What the hell is going on? Well, let me tell you. Argos, which is a retailer in the UK, had a major sale. And as part of that sale, they put a whole bunch of 3DS games on sale, and they had like ridiculously low prices. They knocked the price down of the game all the way to £4 or £2.50. £2.50 for the regular edition and £4 for the limited edition. And I guess they must have had a display in store showcasing like all these games that were on ridiculously low or being sold at ridiculously low prices. And people were like, yeah, I'm going to get that. And it made its way all the way up to the 2nd spot overall. It wasn't the only 3DS game to make the top 40 this week either. Metroid Samus Returns made it to 28. Little Battler's Experience made it to 33. And a game Mom Brain has never played, but that's because it didn't come out here. Teddy Together made it to number 32. Teddy Together is about a little stuffed bear that actually talks to you, like you talk back and forth.
That sounds really heartbreakingly lovely.
I hear that it is. I don't know why it never released here.
I need the bear to be okay. Like that commercial with the little girl who loses the teddy bear it's like a tile commercial. The thing that you find lost stuff with.
Oh, I was like, tile.
That
what?
commercial makes me cry every time I see it. I can't watch it.
It's almost as good as that commercial with the cat at Christmas time when he brings the sleeping guy.
Scratch-off?
I'm sorry, he brings the dead man a scratch off. Yes. I can't guarantee that guy's alive. Yes, Nikki Hill.
So that is to say that this retailer had that many copies of this game in stock.
Yes.
So did it sell well in the first place, or like that's a lot of games to be in the stock room.
Well, it nearly doubled total box sales for when it originally launched.
So
No, hold on. Let me say it again. Bravely Second End Layer sold 3 times what it did when it launched back in February 2016 in the UK. And week to week sales were nearly doubled. So I don't know what the sales were to begin with. I'm sure it did well, but not crazy well. But I also, again, want to point out that it is the UK. So, we're talking about top 5 will be anywhere around usually 100,000 units to 50,000 units, somewhere in there, unless it's something super big. I don't know in particular what The Last of Us Part 2 was as far as total sales in the UK. I know it beat out all the top 10 games combined, but that doesn't mean it did millions and millions. It could have done 200,000 and that would have done it. So the UK is a smaller market.
Still though, that's
still notable.
That there's that many copies of this game sitting there waiting to be sold. They put them on sale and it's like boom.
Yeah, plus it's the 3DS and people were willing to fire up their 3DS again. Eja Daddy says Bravely Default has seen a massive discount on 3DS. I already owned the game, but I couldn't resist picking up another limited edition for £5. Well, there you go. People, it was just one of those deals that was too good to resist. Mom Brain, can I get a drum roll, please? Ninjala has now hit 2 million units sold. Link Triforce, it's okay. Hello, Rat Mastered. How are you? Link Triforce, I only cried a couple days, but it's okay. Ninjala, in less than a week, managed to amass 2 million downloads. So, the game is free. Why not give it a shot? Even if you hate it, it's free. What does it matter? You're just giving up a little bit of space on your Switch, and if you don't like it, you can delete it forever and never see it again. It doesn't even matter. It's not even a thing. I have it on my Switch. I've been giving it a go. I've talked about it. I talked about it last week, and I said I don't know if I like it, and I don't know if I dislike it. I'm still trying to find my way through it. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with this game. Oh, well, thank you, Link Triforce. I understand it's being downloaded like crazy, but that's because it's free. I don't know if it's going to have a player base that's sizable for a long time, because I feel everything that I read from just regular players points to people not being sure how they feel about it or not liking it. So I don't know. They're going to have a bit of a struggle, I think. It's easy to get people to try out the game because it's free, but it's going to be hard to retain them because they're finding issues with the game. So I'd be interested to see what our friend group thinks of it, Nikki Hill. Would you be willing to give it a try? Thanks, Nikki Hill.
Not so sure.
Is that what I sound like? Aloe Wolf says, free is worth a shot. Yes, I agree. It is worth a shot. And I've said before, there's something to it. Ninjala, I'm talking about Link Triforce. There's something to it that keeps me coming back, or keeps me interested in coming back. But then I play it and I'm like, really, it's the rock, paper, scissors mechanic and the like canned animations of battle. Those are the two things that really bug me, because I feel like battle, because of the rock, paper, scissors, is too random.
It's random, yeah.
And then the canned animations of fighting makes me feel like I'm not really doing anything. Like I just go on autopilot. So it's something else. Josh,
that makes me think I would enjoy it because I don't have to be necessarily good to excel.
Well, that's the part that I find frustrating. Hello, Blunners. That's the part that I find frustrating. Like you don't.
I'm a hardcore gamer. I love games and doing really well, and I can't even do good because this is totally random.
No, in the video that I did, I was talking about how I don't really know what's going on, and I feel like I don't have a grasp of what's happening. And I got first place in one of the matches, and I said I don't feel like that's fair, because I'm just like, any game will have an element where you can like fumble your way to a victory or button mash to a win, but this time around, I feel like with the rock, paper, scissors, that's just how it's going to go. King Talsha says rock, paper, scissors isn't just random after the first one. It's mind games, though. Well, that would be true like with real life people, and I guess online, if you keep getting into a battle with the same person, it would be true too. But I'm not paying close enough attention to the people unless they keep popping up over and over. Where I'd be like, oh, this guy, last time I gave him rock, this time I'll give him paper. Froyukin says, ask Josh if he'd try the game out. Josh, do you have any interest in playing Ninjala? It is free.
Sure, whatever.
I don't know if that means yes or no. Knowing Josh,
yes, I really did.
Knowing Josh as well as I do, I would say he's not going to play that. We all know Josh spends most of his time playing something else.
I'm a hardcore gamer.
Hardcore gamer, yes, of course.
Did you know you can play Tetris for free on Tetris.com?
Josh, did you know the fact that you say you're a hardcore gamer and then you talk about playing Tetris doesn't really make sense together? Tetris is like the great expanded audience game. Anybody can play Tetris.
That's none of your business.
Josh, you're so combative. All right, moving on.
Although I have to side with Josh.
Is that what I sound like?
That would.
Side
What I sound like?
Side with Josh in what way?
When I play Tetris, which to most people is a casual game, I play pretty hardcore.
Well, I'm not saying there's not hardcore aspects to it, but I'm saying like just in general, Tetris is a game for anyone, really. You know, like I wouldn't be like, Call of Duty Warzone is a game anybody can play. Tetris is open to anybody.
Hey,
I just realized
I play Call of Duty Warzone, so I'd say pretty much anybody can play it.
I just realized I cleaned my bracelets last night and I put them on the doorknob and I forgot to get them and I feel naked now. Could you get them for me?
No, wait, give me a second. I want to fire up the live stream for this. I want to see you.
Don't look at my wrist. Capcom has talked about Monster Hunter, and they were once again asked if Monster. Oh, I guess not. If the cat's sitting there, don't risk it. I don't want to have him get up. Capcom was once again asked if Monster Hunter World was coming to the Switch, and they officially said no. They have no plans to bring that game to the Switch. But there was a follow-up question where someone. This was after a financial briefing or an investor, whatever. I don't remember, a Q&A, something like that. They were asked if they have any plans to make another Monster Hunter game that was aimed at middle school or high school kids, similar to what was available on the PSP. And Capcom said they do have plans for something like that, but they didn't mention anything in particular when it came to platforms. But I think we all could figure out what platform is going to be supported because when people were playing Monster Hunter on the PSP, you would bring the PSP all over the place locally to play alongside people. And you can do that with the Switch. So the only other option would be mobile. And I don't know if they'd make a traditional Monster Hunter game that's controlled only by the touchscreen. To tell you the truth, that sounds like a nightmare. But
Die, monster.
Wow, that was a really good use, my brain. But stranger things have happened. But I would imagine the success of whatever Monster Hunter is on Switch, I forget the name of that one, but that did well for them. Plus the success of the Switch in general, plus the ability to bring the Switch with you because it's portable, plus the features that the Switch has that measure up to what the PSP had. All of it makes perfect sense for that game to come to Switch. But Capcom did not specifically mention a platform. So I would say chances are good, but nothing official yet. Drew says, to Capcom, we're just a dumping ground for old ports and experimental mobile games. I'm trying to think of, and I can't think of a game that flies in the face of that statement. We got old Monster Hunter, we got old Street Fighter games, we got old Resident Evil games. Okay. That doesn't. I was gonna say Shinsky, but that I guess that would fall under
Froyukin says Mega Man 11.
Mobile experimental. Yes, Mega Man 11 that counts, but
Good job, Froyukin.
It went to all systems, so I'm sure Drew would say that doesn't count because it went to every system. But yes, we did get Mega Man 11, which is certainly new and not an experimental mobile game. Moving on. Nintendo's president has apologized for Joy-Con drift. Mom Brain is slowly destroying all of my Joy-Cons.
One Joy-Con.
Did you just not the other day say, something's happening with this Joy-Con?
One of your Joy-Con.
Destroying it when there's
you ruined it.
Problem. Is she also the cause of coronavirus?
You're saying yours, yes. So you destroyed one of your Joy-Con, and now you think
I didn't destroy anything. It's a known thing.
Did she drop it in the toilet, or is there drift issue?
Well,
it has drift.
Yes.
Okay, she didn't destroy that then. There's an issue with these things, is there not?
The issue is I had the Joy-Con for 3 years and it was fine. Mom Brain takes it for 3 months and now there's drift. Coincidence? I think not. I think she's too hard of an Animal Crossing player. She's really walk around. It's all that rolled. You're pushing the joystick too hard to get those rolls.
Oh my God, I can't wait to talk about rolled.
You've had that Joy-Con for 3 years. But you use the Pro Controller most of the time.
I do use the Pro Controller, yes.
So you haven't even been using that Joy-Con. That Joy-Con probably has 4 months of use.
Thank you.
That is not true. I will tell you for a fact that is the Joy-Con I used to play.
There are COVID cases in that county. Did Mom Brain do that too?
That is the Joy-Con I used to play Celeste. So that Joy-Con got a workout without a doubt. But yes,
you loosened it up.
I want to be 100% clear here. I am not blaming you. This is all a joke. I understand Joy-Con drift is a thing.
I'm glad you're saying that because I worry every time I use it.
Well, I also think you're rough on controllers in general.
Switch
But
in your house without worrying that I'm breaking.
Yeah, exactly.
I also.
Meanwhile, raw meat breaks my crap all the time.
No, it's your fault.
Like what?
Audrey.
You broke the lamp in my office. Do you remember that time you caught my hair in the
Yes.
thing?
Okay. Hold on. That's not breaking something.
No, it's worse. You harmed me.
Are we talking about breaking things? Or are we talking about getting caught?
You
hair
break
caught?
glasses a lot. You broke my jar full of homemade sauce from Rudy's Tomatoes, which I will add.
Hold on a minute. That was like 3 years ago.
Yep, but I remember it. And will I ever have that again? No, because Rudy's dead. Okay.
Well, I told you to go.
Do you remember
over
that doll baby I bought myself after my grandmother died as part of my like therapeutic recovery?
That's not.
And you put graffiti all over its face.
That's not broken.
You broke it. You defiled it.
It's not broken. A doll
Wow,
baby's
that's actually
function.
really bad. That's
Oh
not even
my
an
God.
accident. That was like, yeah.
Now, will Mom Brain tell the full version of the story? I don't know.
What's the full version?
Well, I did it.
Literally, I still have PTSD and no joke from my grandmother dying.
I did it because I thought you would like it.
No.
That's 100% true.
Maybe next time ask before you just start assuming someone's going to like destroying a property.
I didn't destroy it. I made it better. It was growing up.
Personal property.
I seriously did it because I thought you would think it was funny, but you did not think it was funny.
I did not think it was funny.
Well, this is just a no fun zone, I guess. So
Remember the
never
time
mind.
you broke the bonds of your friendship with the people you love the most?
Oh, no.
And you beat that what was that game that you beat without us? What was that called?
Oh, yeah,
again?
Crystal Chronicles.
Oh.
Never forget that one.
Josh, can you help me out here, bud?
I bet he doesn't want to be here.
Boring.
Wow. All right, Josh, thanks. Well, anyway, Nintendo's president has apologized for Joy-Con drift. Shuntaro Furukawa said he apologizes to Nintendo fans for the situation, and he cannot comment on it any further because there's a class action lawsuit in the States, which we all know about. That's been going on for a while. I really don't think it's going to go anywhere, but wherever it goes, we will tell you. So yeah, he said he couldn't talk about it more because of that. Yes.
It's a rough situation. I mean, you can't enjoy the games that you're spending $60 on, or $40 or whatever. And you just can't enjoy it because like there's no accuracy in anything because your character or your camera, like something's moving around.
Oh yeah, if you're playing a game and your controller's reading false inputs, it's extremely
I was
annoying.
digging holes everywhere.
But that's like beyond annoying because you spend a lot of money for all of these games and you can't enjoy them.
Okay, what word would you like me to use?
I don't know. Disappointing.
Okay, it's very disappointing that it happens. Yeah, I was playing The Last of Us, and my one PS4 controller, the camera started drifting up towards the ceiling while I was playing.
Mom Brain, were you playing with the PS4?
No, but I must have done something else.
And
were you in the room while he was playing?
You know how on PS4 you can kind of like pull out the joysticks a little bit to reseat them? Like I did that, and it just kept happening. And I was like, I'll try and play with it. And I played like maybe a half hour, and I was like, nah, I can't do this. It was just driving me nuts that the camera was constantly drifting upwards, so I had to switch to another. But that controller is like, what, 7 years old, 6+ years old? So, I mean, I've had it happen with multiple controllers over the years, but it seems the situation with the Joy-Con is particularly disappointing. So yeah, GRC Pan says, well, let's hope they actually fix the damn thing. I mean, if they haven't done something now to fix whatever is causing this issue, I don't know what they will do. You would imagine that, a year plus ago, they would have done a revision to the Joy-Con. I don't know. Maybe it's still people who, I don't know what the situation is for people who buy real brand new Joy-Con right now. Like, I don't know if those still get drift issues. And I know when the Switch Lite came out, people are like, my Switch Lite has drift. But I haven't really heard that as like a widespread thing, and it was mostly discussion that came around the first couple weeks after the system came out, which unfortunately, you know how things are. Some people just want to crap all over, get on the bandwagon and be like, yeah, this thing sucks, which we see in games all the time, unfortunately. But yeah, I haven't heard too much about Switch Lite. Switch Lite is obviously a big problem if that had Joy-Con drift right away, because while you can connect other controllers to that wirelessly, I don't think you really would want to play that way often on Switch Lite, because you can't play on TV.
Yeah.
So you'd have to play with it like propped up on something to play. So that would be a major issue. But
can you use a Switch Lite in mosaic mode with a Switch?
I don't know. I don't see why not. I mean, it is
It's a
Nintendo,
smaller
though.
screen, right?
It is Nintendo, though, so it might not work. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. All right, moving on. Nintendo says that Nintendo Directs are extremely effective at delivering information, but that doesn't mean they're always going to be around. So if you love Nintendo Directs, maybe one day Nintendo's going to move on from them and you'll never feel the same again. So they didn't say that they are moving away from Directs at all. They just said, yes, Nintendo Directs are very effective with what they do, but something could come up in the future that would better convey what they're trying to do.
They're going to directly beam information into your brain.
So they would go with that instead, which is understandable. So I don't want people to get freaked out about Nintendo Directs disappearing or going away, because Nintendo didn't say that's going to happen. They were very clear that they think they're extremely effective and they like using them. So as far as I know, that's what they're going with. I don't know. Yeah, what else could you do that would be more effective than a Nintendo Direct? Like how do you get any more effective? This is...
I feel like they put out a little mini game and you play through whatever they want you to say.
Yeah, but then they can't guarantee that people will be able to play through it.
Yeah.
Like this is just... This thing's airing at this time. Watch it. That's all there is to it. And the hype that those build up, if they announce them a couple days before or a week before, everybody gets hyped up and gets excited, and word spreads, and more people watch, and they make it to the trending page on YouTube. Oftentimes, they're number one on trending for the day. Like, I don't know what else you could ask for. I don't know what you could do that would do better than that, other than start broadcasting them literally everywhere that streams content on the same day. So YouTube, they do Twitch as well, but like everything, get it on Instagram, get it on Snapchat, get it on
TikTok,
get it on. Yeah, I hear that's what
Quibi.
Nintendo's doing. They're gonna deliver all their presentations through TikTok from now on. So they're just gonna do dances that will introduce new games to you.
they're gonna have frogs tell you what's happening.
Frogs.
Yeah, frog TikTok.
What's frog TikTok?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Promise.
Yeah.
Frog TikTok is a thing. There's like, gay TikTok, and there's prison TikTok, and there's frog TikTok. I have made it to frog TikTok. It's just all frogs, like frogs in little vignettes and yeah, I've made it to frog TikTok.
Tick frog. Why I didn't know you were so into frogs.
I love frogs. I mean,
I love
not like-
frogs.
I'm
I
not
love
into
every
frogs
kind
where
of
like
frog.
I'm gonna be one of those old ladies that decorates with frogs. But
Are you sure about that?
what?
Rudy
I'm sure.
Duty.
No, I mean I love Kermit the Frog.
Hi, Guy
Duty.
Bones. Hi,
Is he
Mordan.
in here?
Mordanon. God damn it.
Yeah,
Rudy
Rudy
Duty?
Duty's- He's over there by the egg.
There he is.
Yeah.
Why isn't Rudy on the podcast all the time?
I don't know. Give him a whiff.
He's still got a little bit of that smell. All right. There's Rudy Duty. He's part of the show from now on. Rudy Duty is a little
The
frog
cat
that we've
is
had
very
forever.
displeased.
I hate Rudy Duty.
Ooh, look at him.
I know. Get that son of a bitch off the table.
We had a frog visitor on the deck the other day.
Did you cut off his leg?
Oh, man. Wow.
You know that other frog that had that injury, it jumped in the water, and that was drifting too, just like the controller.
Nikki Hill hasn't turned on you like that in a very long time. Wow.
Just swims in circles because it can't use its little rudders.
I hear he's into NASCAR now. All right.
Sorry, Mom Brain. I'm really sorry.
Drew says Nintendo needs to do new things so that Sony has new things to copy. It's funny how many other companies have taken the Nintendo Direct route, and this was long before the pandemic. Nintendo Direct worked really well, and then everybody started doing their own directs, and the consensus for the most part was, wow, these aren't as good because Nintendo doesn't, I don't want to say they don't take it seriously, but Nintendo is very like whimsical and fun, and they focus on the fun, whereas other companies take it like super seriously. They don't have the same, like in other presentations from other companies, you're not getting stuff like you usually see, or we used to see with Reggie, where he would just be in character or dress up or just do all kinds of weird stuff. And everybody at Nintendo will do that.
The game is fun
for these presentations, and you just don't have those personalities over on Sony or Microsoft's platforms.
Has the Bowser gentleman been part of it recently?
I mean, not recently, but he has been. Yeah, he was part of. I want to say, I don't remember if it was for E3 last year or not, but yes, he's been front and center, and they did a whole thing with him where he's talking with regular Bowser. So yes, but we haven't seen a direct in a while. I'm sure he'll be a part of more of them going forward. But yeah, everybody at Nintendo does that stuff because they like to have fun and they like to present it in a fun way. Whereas on the other platforms, you have to be like, video games are cool and everybody that plays them are cool and we're grown up and mature and all that stuff. So
I think if I don't know, if they made like a one level of like a Super Mario like 2D side-scrolling level, and like you hit a question mark block, and a trailer for a new game comes out, takes up over the screen, and you watch it, and it's only like 60 seconds or whatever, 30 or 60 seconds, and then you play, and then you hit something else, and
Yeah, but that wouldn't be guaranteed to get like what.
No, I know, but people are gonna would want to play it.
Like everybody has access to YouTube. Not everybody has access to a platform where you're going to play a game to see a trailer for a game.
That's not true.
What do you mean?
Everybody's got cell phones, and they have.
It could be a browser game, couldn't it?
Yeah, but it'd be like you have to.
Oh my gosh, that's it, Mom Brain. It's the Bowser browser. Download the Bowser browser for new tips.
I really don't think there's any way Nintendo could do anything that would be able to reach more people than YouTube does. That's like insane.
I had to make a YouTube channel for school because the access that I had to like all the free trial stuff during the school year ended, and I teach summer school.
You get mad hits on that?
Oh, for sure. I mean, for sure.
Yeah, like Nikki Hill.
Were you going to say something else, Mom Brain? Sorry.
No, I was not. Thank you.
Nikki Hill, your idea, I think, would be fun as something supplemental. Like they could talk about that in a direct and be like, if you want to experience a little bit more of what this game has to offer and get more details, there's a special app on the Switch eShop, and then you could get that. But yeah, doing that over a YouTube presentation, I think would be a terrible decision because you can't beat how many eyes see YouTube every day. There's nothing else out there like it. Like there's nothing comparable unless you're talking about like Facebook or something like that. But still, it's not the same. This actually dovetails into what I was just talking about. Nintendo's president talks about why he thinks the Switch is a success, and it led into Nintendo's philosophy on games and hardware in general. Mr. Furukawa gave two reasons why he thinks the Switch has been successful. First off, he pointed to the Switch Lite, because he thinks the Switch Lite has really helped the Switch reach a whole new market. He also says that the Switch...
Not to be confused with a light Switch.
That is correct. He also says that Nintendo having just one platform to create games for rather than splitting them like they used to with console and portable makes things a lot better because now they can just focus all of their development power on one platform. And their goal is obviously to keep creating content for the Switch and expand the hardware's lifespan. Also, that was followed up by Nintendo Director and Senior Executive Officer Ko Shioda, who talked about the platform's success. Shioda says that Nintendo focuses on fun experiences rather than the technical power of a console, and this has helped them bring in all sorts of players, including families. In Shioda's eyes, these families coming together to play reaffirms the value of having a dedicated gaming console. Yes, I don't think anyone would argue that Nintendo does the best job of the big three of wooing families. Oh, here goes these. Oh, sorry about that.
Bless
Excuse
you.
me. Yeah, Nintendo definitely reaches out to families and does the best job with families, and family is very important to Nintendo, hitting that family audience. Philo says, I mean, latest PlayStation exclusive isn't intended to be fun. It is interesting. I don't think all video games have to be. Well, I don't know. It's interesting to think about. Like, you take an experience like The Last of Us, part 1 or part 2, doesn't matter. Like, Nikki Hill, would you say it's fun?
I mean, I'm enjoying it. I feel
Yeah.
like I've accomplished something, but
It's engaging.
Yeah, like I wouldn't tell people.
I'm enjoying it, but it's intense.
I wouldn't tell people play The Last of Us. It's a ton of fun. I would be like, play The Last of Us. It's amazing. It's engaging. It's endearing. It's emotional. But yeah, you wouldn't advertise The Last of Us by saying this is fun. Like the latest Mario game, you'd be like, this is fun for the whole family. Yeah. Last of Us, you'd be like a heart-wrenching tale of blah, blah. Yeah, it's interesting because it is a game. It is a video game to begin with, and video games are supposed to be fun. I think what Mom Brain says is the best way to tackle it. It is enjoyable. You have an enjoyable time
engaging
with the game. What?
I think I said engaging.
I thought you said enjoyable.
I might have.
Either one are better to say than fun.
I'm sure Michaels will get back to us on that one.
Yeah, either one are better to say than fun, because it's just, I don't feel that fun is the right descriptor for that. Or like, Firewatch. I wouldn't say Firewatch is fun, but I would say it's engaging, certainly, and enjoyable, certainly, because it is, but it's not fun. So,
but it's not fun.
Like,
yeah,
visual,
it's not fun. Yes, you are having
like visual novels, or the like that. Like Edith Finch is not necessarily fun. Like there's a lot of really dark and serious content, but wow, was that an experience?
I guess it's the same as movies. Like you wouldn't say certain movies are fun, but they are enjoyable and engaging. So.
Like a Star Wars movie is always fun.
I would say video games in general are fun and provide fun, but yes, you can't use fun to describe everything that's out there.
I wonder if there's a word in another language for that. Like, something that like you enjoy, and that is like, it is like, I would classify that as like having fun, but the subject matter is not what lends itself
I'm sure
to
other
fun.
languages have like 17 words for it, and we don't have anything.
Yeah.
Over in Europe, Nintendo has announced that they are ending the sale of digital game codes at retail. So there's 3 ways to get a Switch game. You can download through the Switch eShop. You can buy a physical copy at a retailer, or you can buy a game card at a retailer which has a code on it, which you take home and then use the code on the Switch eShop to get the game. Well, that last way is going away in Europe, and it's effective now. It happened July 1st. So you only got eShop and boxed copies from now on in Europe. Nintendo says, after careful examination of the evolving European marketplace in recent years, Nintendo has decided to end the availability of download codes for its own published software via retailers effective July 1st. Customers will blah, 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 whatever. We're always investigating new avenues and will continue to work on new methods to bring Nintendo eShop content to as many players as possible. Now, in Japan, the download cards are a big deal. Every single game from Nintendo gets a download card in Japan, a specific one with special art. And in North America, we don't really get that. So it's different all around the world. But for whatever reason, Nintendo saw something going on in Europe, and they were like, no, not really doing it for us over there. So they stopped doing it. Martin Stuff says, well, that's a shame. Granted, I never bought game codes from retail stores when the physical option was a few feet away. Makes you wonder why Nintendo decided to stop it immediately, though. Trying to think of who buys. Like, what's the audience for that? Like, in Japan, I understand because they're always big on retail overall, so why not have the extra presence there? But, like, I can't...
Gift so and stuff.
Yeah, gift is the only thing I can think of.
The only...
But there's also... Because, like... Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I have no clue.
The only reason I would go for the card would be if I wanted to buy the physical copy for someone for like a birthday present or something, and the physical copy wasn't available.
Yeah.
It's like that, like.
But these are never available, right? Because these are digital.
What? What are you talking about?
Or, oh, well, I'm thinking like games that are only digitally released.
No, this is regular games, like, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Right.
So yeah, other than gifts is the only reason I can ever think of when this conversation comes up. Like I said, it's different in Japan because they love retail stuff.
And it's just like a gift card. Like it's just a cardboard.
Yeah, but it's not a gift card you can use for anything. It's a gift card only for that game. You can give an eShop card that lets people buy whatever they want. But...
Giant Reggie was asking, are they in a game case or just like a gift card? And you just pull them off the shelf.
Yeah, it's
like
on a shelf.
Card.
Yeah, and they got like the scratch.
Oh, if you bought Fortnite though, right? If you bought Fortnite, it came in a case, but there was nothing in it. It was just a download.
Well, yeah, because Fortnite doesn't have a physical game. It was just a code in a box, but also codes for hello Kamui, codes for extra content in Fortnite as well.
But I'm gonna start. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start selling, instead of selling packages of like cans of soda, I'm just going to sell packages of the plastic thing that goes around the lids,
well, we've been
things that ducks choke on.
We've been seeing that a lot. Well, not what you're saying. We've been seeing the retail boxes with codes inside a lot in North America, but even more in Europe lately. And I don't know what is a good name for them. On the site, I've just been calling them code in box because code-in-box because you buy a physical game box, take it home, and inside is a game code. And I guess that's for people who want a physical representation of the game they own on their shelf, which I will admit that takes up a ton of space, but it's much easier to keep track of your games that way than it is digital. Like there's so many games I have digitally that I forget that I have because
you have to put them on SD cards.
There's nowhere to
out of sight,
like
online.
I have to scroll through the Switch or whatever system that I have digital stuff on. I have to scroll through it to see. And having a game box, you're like, there it is right there. So I do understand that. And they do come at cheaper prices too. So that's also good. It's cheaper than buying a boxed game that is actually on a game card. But it is disappointing when a new game comes out and your options are eShop download and code in box release rather than a game card. I understand people want game card stuff. It's disappointing. So when a game first launches, you want all those options there. Code in box for cheaper, a traditional game card for those who like physical media, and an eShop. But often we just get eShop and code in box because it's obviously less money for a company to manufacture just the game box than it is a game card as well, because they have to buy the allotment from Nintendo, and Nintendo sells those in certain allotments. You can't just be like, I want 2,800 of those. You have to do like 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, something like that. So you don't want to put.
Plus, you need to flavor them too.
Yeah,
Flavor
right.
costs money.
That one guy's got to sit back there and paint them with his, I don't know. I was gonna say something gross about where he gets the flavor from, but
Don't.
I got another batch done for you.
He drinks like some really strong coffee, and then he licks it.
Got a batch of games coming in.
I wanted to mention though, going back about things that are enjoyable but not necessarily fun. For some people, that's like, not necessarily like adrenaline junkies or something, but like people who go to like an amusement park, and sometimes riding on a roller coaster is like terrifying for people, but they still enjoy it and have a good time. Like it
Yes.
It gives, and so like that's some kind of like what some of something like The Last of Us is, where it's like it's so tense, but once you get through it and like you kind of feel like you accomplished something, you're like, man, that was awesome. So I still don't know what to put the name to it, but like some people might call that fun. Yeah,
you're right. Like you like going to haunted house stuff and all that. Some people would find that terrifying, and other people get fun out of it. That's a good analogy. All right, we got our plugs. We'll be back in less than a minute.
Hi, I'm Ray, and this is my friend Alex.
Hi.
And we do a show called No More Whoppers.
Some call it corn, we call it therapy.
We're adults with the virility of men.
Want to hear us read snack food copy and talk about Japanese chips? Too bad!
Join us every month or so on the Greenlight Podcast Network. Fans of video games, history, or video game history will definitely want to listen to Retronauts. Each week, Bob Mackey and myself, that's Jeremy Parrish, dive into the stories behind the greatest games of the past and the history behind the hits of today. Check us out every Monday on the Greenlit Podcast Network.
I'm not surprised you just mimed ice cream for your screwdriver trick. All right, what am I doing here? Beep bop beep bop beep beep bop beep bop. Moving on. This was a top. Well, a lot of people commented. I don't know. All right, so we have a information blowout on Paper Mario: The Origami King.
Blowout.
This comes from a Game Informer feature. I really, I mean, I guess there's some spoiler stuff in here. I really wouldn't say so. I'd say this is all stuff that's very early game story wise. If you don't want to listen and if you want to skip like 5 minutes ahead, I understand. I just want to give you the warning, but I'll give the story tidbits that are in here.
Do I have the option to skip ahead?
You don't pay attention anyway. So, Toad Town is hosting
Pay attention to what?
a special origami festival. Mario and Luigi are among the requested guests, and the duo finds that the ordinarily thriving town is virtually abandoned.
This is like spoiler stuff.
Peach has been transformed into an origami form, and her normally friendly personality replaced with a detached automaton. I mean, this is in the trailer, the debut trailer. The trouble comes from King Ali, the diabolical ruler of the Origami Kingdom. Mario gets dropped into a dungeon shortly after, and Ali wraps Peach's castle in 5 massive streamers and places it atop a mountain. Mario meets Olivia, one of the few origami creations who isn't an enemy, and Mario and Olivia need to figure out how to restore Toad Town and the rest of the land to its normal state. The two end up helping a partially origamied Bowser along the way as well. Each of the 5 streamers encasing Peach's castle is guarded by a member of the Legion of Stationery.
Whoa.
Which we've seen in one of the trailers as well. The Legion of Stationery are realistic depictions of familiar art supplies such as colored pencils, rubber bands, and tape. The story isn't chapter focused, as players can travel from region to region seamlessly in an open world setup. So there you go. In this feature, they also shared a breakdown of how they came up with the combat system, which has a ring mechanic to it. Now you have to line enemies up across a ring to get battle damage boosts and do better in battle. And as some people have pointed out, this is an RPG, and it is a turn-based battle system in an RPG, and this uses a series of rings that you turn. So yeah, you can see a prototype of how they figured this out. They talk about a whole bunch of other things. Well, I can tell you the gameplay details as well. Bosses are scattered around the world, and players can see the streamers far in the distance. Mario can run around to travel, or he can drive a boot-shaped car, or he can captain a boat. Mario will also climb aboard an airship where he takes command of the ship's defenses to fire rockets at a paper airplane. What's the word? Group of airplanes. Fleet, sure.
Is it fleet or I don't know? Is that boats?
The game is filled with one-off activities and miscellaneous diversions. Squadron, that's the word I was looking for. Mario will encounter a host of toads who have been folded into different origami forms. Hitting them with his hammer will revert them back to their normal form. At this point, they might return to Toad Town, restoring valuable services to each location. Toads may also join Mario in battle, watching from the sidelines and helping when they ask, or when they are asked to, but they have to be paid for their help. You can go fishing in the game at some point, and Olivia is
How do you go fishing? Everybody's the paper's gonna get wet.
Olivia is a constant companion throughout the adventure, and other characters join and leave along the way. So that last tidbit is something that makes fans of longtime fans of Paper Mario very excited, because they want something akin to the classic adventures where like Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, where you had other characters join with you on your journey.
Mario.
Wait a minute. Is this true? King Taltia says the water is also paper?
The water is also paper.
What?
Tupin has a top-rated comment.
What?
And he quotes where one of the developers talks about how they continue a series. The quote is, When continuing a game series, it's much easier to carry over the basics from an existing game system rather than building new systems for each installment. But that's not how you create new experiences or unexpected surprises. End quote. Tupin says an actual functioning battle system would be the real surprise at this point. And that is the top-rated comment. People were really not happy with Paper Mario Sticker Star and Paper Mario Color Splash because they tried different things with the battle system. I will say I wasn't too much into Sticker Star, but I really did enjoy Color Splash. But yes, they used different mechanics from a traditional Paper Mario RPG or just a RPG in general. Sticker Star used stickers that you had to collect and you could run out during battle, which was really, I believe that's how it worked, which was really annoying. But Color Splash had it was like a card system where you painted cards colors to get bonuses towards attacks, I believe, or certain types of attacks. And that system I really liked. I really enjoyed that game a lot. But Nintendo has seen that the way to go is to experiment with battle systems because Sticker Star is the biggest selling entry in the whole Paper Mario franchise. So I don't think there's anything wrong with experimenting with battle systems there at all.
But let's experiment with some battle systems.
But obviously, experimenting with battle systems means you're going to get mechanics that people don't like or people do like, and it's going to be hit or miss each time. But to tell you the truth, that's Nintendo's philosophy with all their games. They always try some sort of new mechanic or two when they do a new installment of the game. And sometimes it really works out, and other times it doesn't. It just seems that when it comes to the Paper Mario series, they tend to go more experimental with the battle system. And that has rubbed people some people the wrong way. And that's fine. I completely understand it. Just, when it comes to battle systems, I would say the Mario and Luigi series is the one that stays pretty close to the original. Like there's a couple twists in there along the way, but if you're looking for a traditional battle system for RPGs when it comes to Mario, I would say Mario and Luigi is the way to go. But the Paper Mario series since Thousand Year Door has been more experimental. And that's just the way it is. Like I said, I understand people being upset about it. I understand people wanting something that's just a more traditional system. But that's not the Nintendo way, and that's it's an interesting discussion to have because I do appreciate Nintendo's willingness to experiment. And I also, at the same time, appreciate fans saying, this worked really well last time. Do this again. And I would argue at this point, it's been so long since we've had a Paper Mario game that had a traditional RPG system that now would be a great time to bring that back. But on the flip side, I think most Nintendo fans know that that's not how Nintendo operates, really. So it's it can be frustrating. I understand that. I'm not one that takes this stuff so seriously. I'm always interested to see what new systems they come up with for any of their games. So I'll give anything a shot. But yes, I know many people hold Paper Mario Thousand Year Door very near and dear to their hearts, and they just basically want...
I thought about that too.
They just basically want Paper Mario Thousand Year Door 2 to come out. And I would love that as well. I can't say I wouldn't love that. So that's where fans are right now. It's like when the whole Metroid thing happened. People are like, I want more Metroid Prime, more Metroid Prime, more Metroid Prime. And Nintendo did Other M and people were upset, and then Other M wasn't very good and people were even more upset, and that just made them want more Prime after that. And it's been a very long time since we've had Prime, but now we're getting a new traditional Prime. As far as we know, it's going to be traditional. It's called Metroid Prime 4. So it is happening. But you do have to wonder why Nintendo is willing to return to a traditional Prime when they won't do that with Paper Mario. Perhaps it has something to do with the trajectory that the Metroid series has taken. Maybe Other M, after the lackluster response from critics, and I don't think it sold all that great. It sold millions, but it didn't sell all that great. And then that was followed up by Federation Force, and fans were really not into that. And then they were like, oh boy, maybe we got to right the ship here. And they did Samus Returns as like a stopgap to be like, hey, classic Metroid, remember? And then they're going to Metroid Prime 4 to right the course. Maybe that could be the case. You know what? The explanation I just made up in my own head makes a lot of sense. Things haven't been so hot for Metroid, so they want to get things back to where they used to be. And obviously, making a Metroid Prime 4 would certainly do that. But with Paper Mario, Sticker Star, as I said, is the best-selling entry. So why not keep experimenting? I think this will be the one that makes or breaks it for Nintendo for this series, because obviously Color Splash didn't sell well, but that can be blamed on the Wii U because the Wii U didn't sell well. So who the hell knows what Color Splash would have done if it was on the Switch. We're going to see how well the Origami King does. It seems like people are more interested in this one. I could be wrong. We'll find out soon. Switch sales more than doubled in the UK for the first half of 2020. There was a surge in early March, obviously, because of the pandemic, and then it hit its peak in May, but numbers are still above what they were in 2019 when you compare month by month. So June's numbers were above what June was in 2019. June 2020 was above 2019. And things are going to continue this way. The only thing that's stopping it right now is stock. Nintendo's got to get the stock situation under control, which they said they are working on, and expect things to return to normal sometime in summer. Digless says, maybe UK will be Nintendo territory soon. Oh, I don't know, my friend. It's happened in the past for a little bit. It's happened with the Wii. It could happen again. And the DS as well. We have a review from Nintendo Jam of SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. So if you want to know what he thinks of that game, you can check out his review. Let's see what people said. Well, Tanuki Mike says, nice review. Very informative. I just can't.
I'm Squidward.
So yeah, check out his reviews.
Hi, how are you?
See what he thinks of the game. North America this week's eShop releases. What did we get? We got Catherine Full Body. We also got Superliminal. Vigor. Wait, Vigor? Vigor's coming out July 8th? I didn't know that was coming out July 8th. Really?
That's 4 days from now.
That's exciting. I've been wanting to. I played the beta for that, and I really liked it.
Wow! Incredible!
You want to hear something incredible? We have an opportunity coming up for another free-to-play Switch game. And it's going to be for a beta. And through GoNintendo, there will be 250 invites that we can give out. And that will be only through GoNintendo. We are working with a publisher of, I would say, a big free-to-play game that is coming to the Switch. And it's a brand new free-to-play game. And we're going to have...
What are they going to... Like, after they give it to all the GoNintendo fans, what are they going to do with the other 150
Hey-o. Got him.
Sick burn. Got him.
So yeah, we're going to have 250 invites to give away. We were actually going to have them this week, but we were told something happened and we need to wait a little bit more, and they're going to have them soon.
Baby, lock the door and turn the lights
So you can play the game when you get it.
Okay. So look forward to that. Of course, I will have a special... I will make sure I keep a batch of those separate for the podcast people. So you guys, if pretty much when I get them, if you're hanging out in the chat, you will get one. That's how it'll work. But yeah, we'll give them away on Twitter and on the site as well.
Maybe Patreon people should get them.
But that is not a Vigor. Vigor, which I played the beta for, is coming out July 8th. I had no idea. That's crazy. That's so exciting. I really want to play that with us.
Vigor? I gotta look that up.
It is another looter shooter, but it is much more focused on looting than it is shooting. And it's about like rebuilding your home base to get new features and weapons and stuff. So you go into this giant open world section, and there are things to loot from different houses and different buildings and different areas. But then there's going to be like one really big special drop that has all kinds of awesome stuff in it. But there's only one of them, and everybody on the map sees when it's coming in and sees where it's landing. So you have to decide if you're willing to go in there and go for it. And you could run in there and try and get it. Or you could sit back and like find a place to hide out and scope the situation. And then when people are running in to take it, you could take them out instead and then go grab it once they're dead because you die once and that's it. But when you
is there a gulag to fight in though?
There is no gulag. But when you do get the item or when you do get the package that's dropped, you have to make it out of the level too. There's certain exit and entry points in the level. So you can't just pick it up and you've secured it. You have to actively get out of the level and get it back to your base, which is pretty thrilling. And you can do this. I don't know how many people can play together in a squad. I think it might be 4. But there's more than 4 people in the game, obviously, when you're playing. I played it alone. I played it online with strangers, but I didn't have anybody in my squad. And it was thrilling. I had a lot of fun with it. It was very, very interesting.
Thrilling. Not necessarily fun, but thrilling.
When you die, the incentive is really be smart, be sneaky, don't get caught up in big firefights. Because when you die, you lose everything that is on you. So whatever you take into a mission with you, you got to be ready to lose it. And you can't just like buy more ammo. You have to scrounge up pieces and parts to make those things. So you can't just like buy a gun. You have to get the elements you need to make the gun. So it makes you really.
What's the purchase element then?
What do you mean? There's cosmetic and stuff like that. So yeah, you have to be very careful because when you go into a level with, you could lose, which can be disappointing. But it was fun. I liked it a lot. I wish the beta was around longer to play more because I really enjoyed it. Also available is Arcade Archives Wiz, Being Stronger While Playing Silver Star Go DX, Biped, Clash Force, which I played for a video, Couch Co-op Bundle Volume 2, Digirati Indie Darling Bundle Volume 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dune Sea.
Yeah, Dune Sea.
Crossminton. Gertie. Ghost Grab 3000. Grisaya. Phantom Trigger 1 and 2. Infamy. I will live on in infamy.
I feel like Lube might actually say that.
Infliction. Extended cut. Oh, look at this. Keen, One Girl Army. Pool Slide Story. Singled Out. No, not the 90s MTV show.
Oh, that was going to be my bit.
You stole my bit. Starlight Adventures Golden Stars. Swarm Riders.
Ooh.
Riders on the Swarm.
There we go.
The Otterman Empire. The Wanderer, Frankenstein's Creature. That game looks really interesting me. I'm kind of intrigued.
Me. That game looks really interesting me.
Looks really interesting me.
Is that what I said?
Yes. Is that what I sound like?
Is that what I sound like?
If I'm there, who's here? I'd say that earlier.
Zombies Ruined My Day. And the 3DS eShop.
That's what I sound like.
The 3DS eShop got a new game. Jack and Jane Jungle Escape. First comment comes from Steel Diver and says, it's nothing for me this week, but I got a PC now, so I can play anything. Well, not stuff that's
What
only
are
on
the
Switch.
next European masterpieces? Let's find out with Nicky's sweet releases.
Thank you, Josh. Beautiful.
Thank you, Josh.
That's what I
Josh
sound
is moving
like.
the show along.
That is what you sound like, Josh. Yes.
So coming
Smash
to
that
Europe this
subscribe
week.
button.
What was that,
Sorry,
Josh?
Smash that subscribe button.
All right, we'll do that, Josh.
Coming to Europe this week is The Legend of Heroes: Trails of Cold Steel 3. I've never even heard of Trails of Cold Steel or Trails of Cold Steel 2, but the third one's coming out. Balloon Pop for toddlers and kids. Biped. Okay.
Give me biped till I buy dead.
Bipped.
Bipped.
Look at this cat.
Biped.
Biped.
Clash Force Couch Co-op Bundle Volume 2. This bundle contains the following games. You want to hear what it has?
Sure.
All of which feature local couch co-op as well as single player modes.
Single player.
Oh, I don't have to separate. Black Paradox is one. Soul Eater. Bleed, and Vertical Drop Heroes. I think those are the ones that are on there. There's Digerati Indie Darling Bundle Volume 3. Let's talk about what's on that one. That's not. I didn't break it down. Let's not talk about that. Dune Sea.
I can tell you. Omega Strike, Shikhondo, Soul Eater, Nefarious, and 1979 Revolution, Black Friday.
Oh, that's all that's on there. Okay. There's a lot more text here. A lot of words on this page. Dune Sea.
I will kill him.
Yeah, it's Dune Sea. Final Sword. Ghost Grab 3000. Infinity. Infliction Extended Cut. Keen One Girl Army. My Bewitching Perfume.
Oh, it's a romance story. Even though he's so disinterested in love, for just a moment it's like he's been enchanted. It's all because of the perfume I made. He's a handsome Soshuku Danshi who's had a bad experience in love that he's never been able to tell anyone. However, he suddenly turns into a Nikushoku Danshi.
Oh.
The perfume I made has a dangerously seductive fragrance. Before we realize it, it's caused him to abandon all reason.
So he turns from a Soshoku Danshi into a Nico
DD
Shuko
Mega Doo-Doo.
Shoku.
I mean,
Shoku Danshi.
yeah, it's your classic
Love Potion.
Soshuko Danshi to Nico Shoku Danshi story. We've all heard it before.
Yeah. Oh, is it like She's All That?
Yes, this is the adaptation of She's All That. Yes.
Pool slide story. Like, imagine the story that goes into like going down a pool slide. It's not that quick. It's not that long.
You don't understand the logistics of building a perfect pool slide. A lot goes into it.
It's a building.
It's a simulator game, but it's I believe it's like a theme park, like a water park.
Okay, because I was gonna say like it's a short ride, but I've been at public pools where kids will go up and down that slide hundreds of times.
Yeah.
So listen,
it's water park.
My
yes.
bud with autism is, a man, like he'll be 19 next month, and his favorite thing in the whole wide world is water slides. And he likes to watch them on, well, used to be. It's not so much anymore. He used to watch them on YouTube all the time, but he likes to stop halfway down and just hang out. So he's backed up lines at water parks and public pools. And then somebody's got to go he's a grown man, and somebody's got to go pry him free and shoot him down to the bottom of the slide. It's great.
Shoot the tubes, dog me.
It's really great. Yep. It's fun.
That's what this game is all about.
Yeah.
Singled Out.
No, it's not the 90s MTV show.
Starring, co-hosted by Swarm Riders. So get this.
Oh, I thought you were going to say who was hosted and co-hosted by.
I don't think Mom Brain wants to talk about it.
Jenny McCarthy and what's his name? Chris Hardwick.
So Swarm Riders, it takes place 400 years before Ubermosh Black.
Yes, so we all remember Ubermosh Black.
Was that a game that's been out a long time ago? No.
400 years ago, yeah.
Oh, come on now. We'll just remember that. This is a prequel to another game. But it's not the prequel to tennis, 1920s, the golden age of tennis. The Ottoman Empire. Here's another one that's just as good as the pool slide story. The Story Tale. Such a script. Such a title, huh? The Wanderer, Frankenstein's Creature. I think Rami Cowboy's really interested in that game.
I am.
And two more games here. Ubermosh Black. It's the sequel to Swarm Riders. And Zombies ruined my day. Zombies! Those darn zombies! They ruined my day.
They'll do that to you. First comment comes from Steel Diver, and they say Kairosoft story games are fun, but they are literally all the same thing. Sunk a few good hours into the Switch port of Game Dev Story back when Switch had no games. Yes, Kairosoft puts out a lot of those story games. They've done a ton, and I can't think of any of them right now. I want to say Farming was one of them. I want to say like anime or manga story was another one. Yeah, it's all just simulation games. Pokemon Company has donated $5 million to groups and organizations around the world following Pokemon Go Fest 2020. This donation is in addition to the $5 million that Niantic pledged as well. So this isn't the $5 million we previously talked about. This is another $5 million from Pokemon Company. The $5 million will be split between the following organizations: RDoC, Black Girls Code, Boys and Girls Club of Canada, Plan International, Save the Children, Stephen Lawrence Charitable, Trust, the Trevor Project, UNICEF, and World Vision. Why do I know about the Trevor Project?
Isn't that LGBTQIA plus?
I think I hear that one a lot. Autumnal Blake says, love to see it. It's unfortunate that we need a company that creates imaginary monsters to pay for people to get help with what they need, but whatever works. Yes, it is very nice to see that, and it is obviously a sizable donation. Finally, we have the official English translation of Nintendo's shareholder Q&A. We've already shared all the details from that through translations through the wonderful Cephazon. But now you have the official English translation if you would like to go through that stuff. The fan translations that we got were spot on, pretty much. Everything was covered. So, but if you want to see the specific wording, you can do that. And that's it. That's it. And that's all. Well, let me read the top comment, or the first comment. Steel Diver says, how will Nintendo continue to invest in thick characters to keep customers happy? There you go. All right, that's it. Mom Brain.
Yes, dear.
What have you been playing?
Well, Animal Crossing, but as you know, this past week was my birthday. And so I had my birthday in Animal Crossing, and I was tickled pink to find that Roald greeted me at my door the first moment I signed on to the game and was like, follow me.
What better way to start your day?
It was amazing. Thank you, everyone, for the birthday wishes. But here's the thing that I didn't like. So in Animal Crossing, when I finished for the day, I put my little gal in pajamas. So I put like a sleep mask on her and everything. And I didn't have a chance to change before I went to my birthday party. So I am at my birthday party in a sleep mask. So like I can't see anything. It's a little bit sad. But it was so much fun. I won't tell you like everything that happened. Oh, happy birthday, Link's Triforce.
Oh, happy birthday.
And happy
so you
early
basically
birthday.
Went to your party wearing a Cinco snooze time
Excuse me.
party mask. Whatever.
Exactly. Happy early birthday, Anastasia Beverhausen. So that was like really, really fun. Also, I, of course, yesterday played the new update where I got myself a wetsuit and went swimming in the ocean and collected sea creatures. So, I mean,
it's been a great week.
It's been a really good week. I've had an absolute blast. I think that's all that I can comment on.
Of course, that's all you played. Nikki Hill, what have you been playing?
Played some Friday the 13th.
Yeah, you did.
Played some golf with friends.
You did, and you haven't talked about that before. It was your first time playing.
Yeah, what a game, huh?
It's fun with friends, and I think that's why they put that in the title. But it is, it's a bit wonky, isn't it?
It's a rough outing there. whole 18 holes. I mean, I don't know. There's just things. I just feel like it's not consistent with, like, if I do the exact same power in the exact same direction, it does completely different things. But that's probably me.
No, I agree with you on this one.
No, it's probably me. It's probably you too.
My frustration with I have fun with the game, but my frustration with it is how insane the courses are. I want more traditional courses. I have no problems with the themes of like archaeologist or Egypt or museum, whatever. It doesn't matter. I like all those themes, but the whole layouts are unbelievably ridiculous. It's like go through a portal and jump on a fan and bounce off a platform and go through like all kinds of crazy stuff. I want stuff that's more like what you would get at an actual mini golf course. And
Raw Meat is a connoisseur of mini golf.
They're adding user-created courses to the game, which is very exciting because I would imagine those are going to be about a bazillion times better than what is presented in the regular game. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But like the first course is Forest, and that's the closest you get to something traditional. And by the end of it, you're like going through a sawmill where there's saw blades going around and logs flying all over the place. I'm like, oh, okay. It's frustrating to me. But playing it with friends is fun. I had fun last night.
Well, you had a frustrating time with in a rack of dinosaur ribs.
Oh my god, what a disaster that was! I don't know.
The thing is, like, I couldn't even like watch you. And the thing that's really annoying to me is you go into camera mode, but like that doesn't lock off your ball, so you end up hitting your ball somewhere and you're not even playing. But the funny thing is there was one course where I hit my ball and like I made par, I think, and the first hit I wasn't even paying attention to because I was in the middle of trying to look at where I'm supposed to go, and Vitamin G didn't even finish that level because he was having such a hard time with that first hit. So like that luck, that probably if I tried to do it myself, I wouldn't have been able to, but since I wasn't even looking, it worked. But
wow, I am impressed.
This guy's complaining about par.
Buddy. I couldn't get. I sucked last night. That was terrible.
I think you saw by the end scores that we all did terrible.
I did the terriblest.
All right, congratulations. You did the worst of anyone on your first night, and we've been playing for months.
Yeah.
I'm gonna win.
So then I played some Clubhouse games, and then I've been putting quite a few hours into The Last of Us Part 2, subtitled The Last of Us, There's More of Us.
And yes, we are not getting into spoiler territory, but are you having an engaging and enjoyable time?
I'm really enjoying it, but this game should be, if someone were to review this game, which I think people do review games, right?
It's a new thing starting out, yeah.
Maybe instead of like stars, because the game is great, so you don't even have to review it whether it's good or bad, but you can review the pucker factor for how tightly clenched the butthole is, from how nervous you get.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple times where I almost let loose.
The worst is when you're walking around and you hear the noise of someone or something seeing you, and you're like, where are they? I can't see them. Where are they? You don't know like where to run to, like what wall to hide behind, because you could be like hiding behind a wall that's looking directly at them.
Baby, lock the door and turn the lights down low.
So when that noise starts to build, I would get like so nervous because I'm like, I don't know who's watching me. I don't know where they are.
I was just in an area where I think I bumped into something and it caused a glitch, and it just kept like tumbling. So I kept hearing something, but nothing was actually there. Oh, you know what happened today? It's not really a spoiler, but I took somebody out stealthily. And when I went to place them down, I placed them down next to a window, and it broke a giant pane of glass, and I alerted a bunch of other people. I was pretty upset about that.
The perfect stealth skill.
And it's just like, smash!
Here you go. Rest easy now.
But
how many hours do you think you put into it?
currently, it says I'm at between 20 and 21.
Oh.
But I definitely put more time in. It's just that I die a lot, or so I'm not like super strict about being stealth. If I can get through an area and get through like 7 out of 10 enemies, or like, people or whatever, I call that a good job. And if I trigger somebody by that point, I'm not stealth.
Oh yeah, I didn't do that either. I always went in with the goal of being stealth the whole way through, but if you alert somebody, you alert somebody, and depending on the situation, I might like run and hide and try and lose them again. But yeah, sometimes I would just run up and hit them with an axe to the face or something.
Yeah, but even though I lose them again, it's like all bets are off. I'm going in. Like, I'm going to just rush them.
Yeah, except when you get into situations where like you are going in stealth, you accidentally alert somebody and you're like, screw it, I'm just going to go. And you run through, and at the end of a section is a door that is like barricaded, and you have to wait while the character slowly opens it. And you're like, come on, yeah. People are shooting at me.
Well, I told you, I used, can I talk about weapons in this right now?
I don't think any weapons are a spoiler.
But
I used
like
a
proximity
2x4. Yeah.
And I set a bunch of those because I knew there was a door that was going to like alert enemies. So I set a bunch of those charges, and I just wasted all of that material because when I started opening that door and like I was getting attacked, it, like, I guess it would set up that you don't have to defend yourself while you're doing it. Boy, oh boy, was it tense.
Yeah, I played it the way I play all games, so I was at like full capacity with everything within the first 5 hours, and then I didn't shoot anything almost the entire time. There's one part that I don't want to say because it's spoiler, but I used bullets at that part. But other than that, I went my whole like 30 hours without shooting anything, and I was like, man, I had so many guns and so many bullets, and I never did anything with them. I was all about stealth.
I'm definitely using a lot more than 0 bullets.
I would say minus the one boss that I fought, I probably shot maybe, I don't know, maybe less than 10 times.
Boss? I haven't experienced anything that's like a boss.
Well, I don't know how else to say it. I mean, I'm sure you'll know what it is when you get there.
But yeah, so
it's Bowser. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to spoil it. It's Bowser.
No, I think it's great though, and I'm enjoying it. There's something I was going to say, and I forgot.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I just trying to get through it. I
don't know. That was the perfect way to describe the game, with a sigh and saying that. Well, thank you, Nikki Hill.
Thank you. What were you playing this week, Romy Cowboy?
Oh, thank you. I played some, what's it called? Clash Force. I did a video for it. Let's see. Is that what it's called? Clash Force. Yes, I played some Clash Force. And it's basically 70% Mega Man, 30% Contra. Retro graphics. It's fun. I mean, it's very, very simple, very straightforward, very run and gun. You pick up different power-ups for weapons along the way, which is the part that reminded me of Contra. You get like all different types of bullets, but if you get hit, you lose the ability. And then you just run and jump and shoot and platform and all that. So it, simple, mindless, straightforward fun. I'm enjoying it. I also played Friday the 13th with Nikki Hill, as he said, and we had a grand old time. And this is my first time playing since they updated the game. And I think the update made an unbelievable difference. I think the game runs so much better. I didn't have problems with how it ran before, but I can say that it was a little, it chugged a bit. And I played it whenever we played a couple nights ago. It was amazing. I thought the way it ran was so much better, so much smoother.
Yeah, it was better in some things, but also somebody choked me out and killed me, and their arm got stuck in this weird twisted.
Well, listen, I'm not saying it doesn't have glitches. I'm saying just the overall frame rate of how the game ran, I thought was vastly improved.
I couldn't tell if it was just that it was improved or it was just that I was used to playing a different kind of game. It was just paced differently, but there were just some weird these weird little glitches. Like I could be upstairs in a house, and it would show me that doors are locked downstairs, and it's like I don't need to see that right now. It's really junking up my screen. And then, I went to drive the car, and the B button came up, the B prompt to like start the car, and then I got killed. And I was watching somebody else drive away in the car, and like the B prompt was still like buttons are still up on the screen, and it's like just weird. I don't know. It's not like it doesn't ruin the entire experience, but come on, get your stuff together.
Well,
right?
I think we can say from day one the game was glitchy, but it's fun. It's fun. I got no problems with it. I greatly enjoy it. So yeah, we played more of that, and then unfortunately, I beat The Last of Us Part 2. It's saying I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and I know it's stupid, but when you're talking about a game like The Last of Us, it doesn't feel right to say you beat it. It says you know I completed it, I finished it. It's not like you beat a Mario game. It's running and jumping and stupid, silly stuff.
You finish a book. You
Yeah.
don't beat a book.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
You could say you beat Drake's Fortune, but
Yes, more Dan says I suffered through it. Yeah, I would say I beat Drake's Fortune because that's very, I don't know what the right word is, but yeah, it's not a serious journey or anything like that. Not that it doesn't have serious points to it, but yes, I completed The Last of Us Part 2, and it was I found it to be absolutely amazing. No spoilers. Yeah, I would heavily recommend it to anyone. I think there are some portions of that game, or some aspects of that game that are a high watermark for games in general. Storytelling, visuals, which is not one I usually say, but if you're going for realistic visuals, yeah, especially like landscapes, animation, there's a whole bunch of things in there that feel like the pinnacle of games, the pinnacle of those achievements for games. Voice acting is phenomenal, which is the same as the first one, so that's no surprise. But yeah, really, 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 really moving, enthralling experience. And unfortunately, that's all I can talk about, because I'm playing two other things I would love to talk to you about, but I am under embargo, so I am not allowed to. But I will be able to talk to you about both of them this coming week, and I will be doing so on the YouTube channel and also on the podcast next week. So look forward to that. I guarantee you both of these games are things you're really going to want to hear about. So look forward to it. All right, let's do some questions.
Ooh, yeah.
Send your questions to GoNintendoQuestions@gmail.com.
Where?
GoNintendoQuestions@gmail.com. They can be about Nintendo, they can be about video games in general, or they can be about whatever the hell you want. Today's question comes from Aaron.
Hello.
Aaron says, I heard you talking about the Lego Millennium Falcon on the previous podcast. I too have an interest in the build, but it's always been crazy expensive, about $1,000 on Amazon. I have a coworker who is much more into Lego than I, and he found a quote third party end quote location to get one for much less money, like $330. It's from a website in China, and it took a bit to get here. He ordered it, and he had the following comments. He was very pleased when it was all done. Still took many hours to build. They changed a few things only on the instruction booklet. It's called Space Wars. And it's called something like the how do I say this? Millennium Fulcrum. The
Perfect.
Millennium Fulcrum or something like that.
I remember riding the Millennium Fulcrum.
It has all the right letters, just in a different order. He said all the pieces seem to be legit Lego pieces. They all have the Lego logo and each brick on each brick, and he couldn't tell any difference between official versions. He said it looks just like any picture you can find in a real thing. He said a lot of pieces come in big loose bags, but that might be how the legit ones are as well. He also said all the pieces were there, and then he sent me a link to it. And he says your computer might try and block the website, indicating that it has Trojans. But he says he was able to open it on his phone, and it worked completely fine.
Wow.
And he sent me the link, which I'm not going to give you guys. And then he also says kudos on the podcast. I listen every week. Well, thank you, Aaron. It wasn't as much as of a question as it was information that I was looking for. So thank you very much. I would say $300 is a lot better than $1,000.
Use your phone to order
and
it.
if I can have a Millennium Fulcrum and my own personal Millennium Fulcrum, and I might be willing to do that. I'll have to check it out. Yes, I will look at that link on my phone. Thank you, Aaron. Today's Patreon question. The Patreon, which you can get for
$1.
For $1. You can join the Patreon, patreon.com/GoNintendo. Patreon question comes from the one and only Guy Bones, who says, hello, pod crew. I was having a conversation with some friends the other day, and the subject of the different mediums of entertainment came up. I suggested that the medium of video games is really the best medium because it can really be any medium. Books, music, art, movies, TV, and whatever could be expressed through video games. But those other mediums couldn't do the same. My friends didn't really get what I was saying, so they are now not my friends. Is this line of thinking kind of out there or not really? Please discuss. Thanks, Toodles. Yes, I agree with that. But I will give credit to movies and TV because they have music aspects to them as well. And they have lots of TV shows and movies have amazing soundtracks and amazing songs in general. But he was saying video games, the best medium because it can be any medium. Books, music, art, movies, TV. Yeah, I mean, games encompass all that. Because games have reading in them. Games obviously have music. A lot of work goes into the artwork for games. And it has a lot of the same things as movies and TV shows do. But you get the added bonus of interactivity, and you tell the story in your own way as well, through gameplay or through maybe story choices in that story. So, yeah, I don't know that I want to say it's the best medium. I don't know that I would call it best. I wouldn't call any of them the best. I would say maybe it's the medium with the most variety as far as what you get out of it. And also, I would say it's easily the one that lets you have the most input, because what you actually do and think can be translated to the game, and then what happens in the game can change based on that. Even just, taking control of the character and moving them, everybody's going to do that in a different way. And depending on how the game is, that can lead to different outcomes in the game, be it through story or gameplay. So, yeah, it's the most, has the biggest amount of opportunities for entertainment, I think. But yeah, I don't want to crap on other forms of entertainment because I love them all. Mom Brain, what do you think?
What's the best form of entertainment?
Oh, just what do you think of the thing in the whole discussion in general?
I feel like I don't like it when people get into the conversation about like when it comes to like entertainment. I don't think it's anyone's place to tell another person like how to think or feel, or like I don't think that there should ever be like one definitive this is the way to go. I just think that I like love that I have every possible option at my fingertips. I'm very grateful to have been educated in really good schools. I have like great reading skills. I enjoy reading. I was raised by, all four of my grandparents were avid readers. My parents, not so much, but I like movies. I like, I think it's amazing to have all of these opportunities and all of these options literally at our fingertips. Like I could buy a book on my Kindle right now and read it. Like, I think that's incredible.
Yes, Nikki Hill?
What?
I thought you were waiting to say something.
I didn't know if you were going to ask me my opinion.
I am right now. Yeah.
I agree that like all mediums have really good parts to them or whatever, like elements, and they all kind of work together. I mean, when it comes to like visual mediums, film, TV, video games, that sort of thing, they all utilize music and different storytelling elements. The one thing about video games, which I do really enjoy, is that it's not really a build your own adventure, but it's experience your own journey, kind of.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that's most important to point out about games is how you are the one in control. Like for The Last of Us, for example, if you were to see that, well, we will. I mean, I was going to say if you were to see that as a TV show or a movie, but we're going to see that on HBO. I'm sure it would be amazing and phenomenal and impactful, but I don't know if it would. Yeah, I don't know if it would measure up to playing the game because the game puts you in control and you feel like you're the one putting this person through the journey and making the decisions and certainly going through the tense moments of fighting creatures and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think games, the ability to interact with games and had them respond to what you're doing is something that none of the other mediums can offer. And that is certainly something unique and very important to games and really can make an experience and take it to the next level. So I think that's important to point out because you're not going to get that from books or movies or TV shows or music. You may have a reaction to them, but you cannot interact with them. So other than participating.
When it comes to literature, you read the book and then it's like, oh, it's going to be adapted into a movie or a series or something. It's the visual medium is never really. I mean, sometimes if they try to be like a direct
yes.
Oh man, what am I trying to say? Not adaptation or whatever. Then there's stuff that has to get cut or lost.
Yeah.
You know, but a lot of what's going on in media now is like a book comes out and that author sells the rights to someone to make a series, and that series does not follow the book point for point because it's its own story and it changes elements and it makes it its own thing. So now you have two versions, and there's some people who are like purists and they're like, no, it's stupid, it's not the book. But it's like, well, it's a different version of it.
My disappointment when they make like a book into a show or a movie usually comes from when something was left out of the show or the movie that I really enjoyed in the book. Like, it's not like, like I understand going into it, it's going to be completely different. No, well, not completely different. It could be completely different. And when you're reading it, the experience is so personal and intimate because you're making, like when we teach kids to read, we tell them like you're making the movie in your mind while you're reading. And so it's so personal and individual that there's no possible way they could make it look the way it looks in your head. So like that's kind of off the table for me. But when there's something that happened in the book that I'm like, I hope that happens in the movie because I want to see it, and then it doesn't, I'm always a little sad.
Like I'm very excited for The Last of Us on HBO. I'm very eager to see how that turns out. I'm very excited to see who they cast in that thing. That's going to be crazy. I don't know who you pick to fill those roles, but the guy who's doing it, the guy who's doing it is the guy who did Chernobyl, and he is a absolutely massive fan of The Last of Us. So I'm sure he's going to pay great respect to the source material. But yeah, the game is, however many hours, and you're not going to get the same amount of hours out of the miniseries of The Last of Us. You might get, I don't know how many episodes are going to be. Let's be generous and say 12. I would imagine it's going to be like 8 or something like that. But still, that's not going to measure up to the game as far as total hour count. And there's going to be things that will have to be cut and things that will have to be handled differently. And I understand that.
But so they can make a story that takes, like, if they're gonna have the main characters, that's one thing, but like it doesn't need to be beat for beat or moment for moment, but it can still have unique experiences in that world.
Yeah, it can. And the only thing that I think of is I just really need, for me to have that adaptation be worthwhile, I need the same emotional impact to be there. If they get there in a different way, personally, I might be a little miffed, but I can understand it. But I need that same emotional impact because that's part of what made the first one and the second one too so great. Like that element has to be there for me for me to consider it a success. So somebody in the chat said they didn't know this was happening. Yes, HBO is Link Triforce. Yes, HBO has announced that they're doing a Last of Us adaptation with the guy who did Chernobyl. They announced it a while ago, but they haven't announced a release date or episode count or any of the casting or any of that. So there's a long way to go, but they're doing it.
I gotta say though, HBO is putting out some really great content. There's some really good things that have been out just recently.
Yeah,
I didn't watch Chernobyl, but if what you're saying, is what you want to experience, I think that filmmaker, director, storyteller, it was a great pick because from what I heard about Chernobyl is that it's like super emotional. It's like really hard to watch. It's like really heavy.
Well, my understanding is he did Chernobyl and it was a big hit for HBO, and that paved the way for him to do one of his dream projects, which was The Last of Us. He went to HBO and said, okay, I did this for you. It was a hit. Now let me do this. And they were like, okay. So,
I wish they did like World War Z as a series where every episode is its own individual story of a person's experience. That would have been incredible.
You should watch Perry Mason. We only watched the first episode, and there's only 2 so far. But Perry Mason, what?
Are there zombies in it?
Not in the first episode. Perry Mason is really good.
Spoiler.
The first episode is really good. Really well done. All right. Thank you for your question. Let's do some music. Send your music to gnpodcastmusic@gmail.com.
Where?
gnpodcastmusic@gmail.com. We can only do music trivia with your support.
That's beautiful.
Yes, there is a Perry Mason reboot on HBO, Froyukin.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Why are people shooting off fireworks in the middle of the day?
Because they don't want to stay up late.
That's not true either, because they're shooting off fireworks at 2 a.m. here.
Well, maybe it's not the same people, Nikki Hill.
We had fireworks last night. Scared the bejesus out of the cat. Like he shot up out of a dead
He's had
sleep.
a rough day. Fireworks and sirens.
That's when you should have had him outside, so it scares him from never wanting to be outside ever again.
Yeah, maybe.
Are we doing music?
Yeah, we're doing music.
You wanna hear it?
I got music. You want to hear it? You want to hear it? Oh.
Whoa.
Is that what I sound like?
Oh, pardon me.
That's the Home Depot song.
This song comes from After Noobs. This is as loud as it gets.
What? That's quiet, and I'm sitting right next to the speaker.
Sorry.
Oh, I heard this when I was at the doctor's office.
This is when you're on hold for something.
Yeah. Your call is important to us. Please stay on the line.
I can't believe this is as loud as it gets. This is great music.
Yeah.
Is it trauma center?
It's not. You know what? I can make it louder.
YouTube. Yeah. There we go.
The balance game.
No.
Is it Xenoblade? Is it an RPG?
I don't think so.
What system? Man, this is great.
Switch. After Noob sent this, and she said, "I'm so sorry."
This is so good.
And also to send her love command.
Deadly Premonition.
No.
I don't know. Go ahead.
Well, gentlemen, you have enjoyed a song from My Riding Stable's Life with Horses on the Switch.
Are you kidding me? That is so good.
Uh-huh.
I gotta play that game. That's unbelievable.
Well, there you
That's
have
my
it.
kind of jam.
I know. That's a good, like, on the deck, like, chilling out.
It's good anytime.
This song comes from
After Noobs, keep them coming.
Autumnal Blake.
Fragile.
No. Hailey and Tom said that his guess for the last one was Weather on the 8s.
Some RPG.
Yeah.
What system? Octopath Traveler.
3DS.
Tales of something.
No.
Xenoblade.
No.
3DS RPG. Pokemon.
It is.
It's a Pokemon.
Uh-huh.
What is?
You've got it, Evum.
Whatever is on. I don't remember what's on 3DS. Sun or Moon.
Nope.
Pokemon on 3DS. Come on.
I told you it was on 3DS.
I can't guess. I saw the answer.
I can't see those games. You're not going to give me points for Pokemon here?
Well, Autumnal Blake's not on, so we're going to leave it to the chat. Does that count?
Whatever's on, I don't know. X and Y.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
Oh, thank God. I kept thinking Soul Silver, and I knew that wasn't it.
This one comes from Blood Ocean 07.
Oh, my God. E.T.
Yeah.
It's spot on, too.
It is. Totally.
Elliot. And a little bit of ketchup. And a little bit of mustard. All right, turn this off. If you haven't seen Stone Cold E.T., look that up on YouTube for a real gem.
And it was on the Atari.
Stone Cold E.T. specifically going through a drive-through ordering.
It's really great. This one comes from Ecliptor.
Oh, I like it. Okay, now, I don't know if it's an honest retro game or if it's a new retro game.
Honest.
So what is this, Super Nintendo then? It doesn't sound like Super Nintendo, no.
64.
Oh my God, what is this? Mischief Makers, I don't know.
No. Oops, sorry. Oh God, I really screwed the pooch here.
Oh, let's get a little everything. How about some sort of shmup?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't. Is it a racing game? Is it an outer space game?
It's a racing game.
Extreme V, F-Zero. Racing game on the 64. Turn it down. Racing game on the 64. San Francisco Rush?
Nope.
Cruising something?
Nope.
Car racing?
Yeah.
I don't know. Lamborghini something.
Nope.
Off-road.
Nope.
Rally. Something rally?
Yeah.
GT rally?
Nope. But you're so close. To
Domino rally? Is it something rally or rally something?
Something rally.
Car racing rally.
Nope. Salad Master Link got it.
Oh, something rally.
Coast.
Nope.
What is that one? What is that one that R-Type likes? Top Gear Rally.
Yes.
Oh,
I
thank
also
you,
would have
R-Type.
accepted Kyle Lanquin's response, Kirstie Alley Rally.
Ooh, I would play that. I always had a
Um,
crush on her.
Really?
Yeah, I liked her. Kathy and Jimmy, what can I say?
Veronica's Closet?
Yeah, two of them together. What more could you want?
The cat is twitching in his
That's
sleep
great.
and it's adorable.
Let's not look at
Here's one from Fred McNanner.
Get lost.
Okay, this could be the 64.
This is the 64.
Yeah. All right, let's try it again. Extreme G.
No.
Is this also a racing game?
I don't know.
Was Wipeout on the 64? I gotta say no.
This is not Wipeout.
Jeff Force Gemini.
No.
Cruising something.
Nope.
Glover.
No.
Space Station Silicon Valley.
No.
Blast Core.
Nope. I have a sudden and burning desire for peach rings.
I don't know. Go ahead. Winback.
No.
Thank God.
Wetrix.
Oh, I never played that. I know
Or
of it.
Wetrix?
No, Wetrix.
I'm not sure which.
I told you which.
What? Okay. All right. So the next, that was from Fred McNanner. The next song is from Geku Kitsune.
Has to be a Kirby.
It is.
Now, which Kirby is it? Okay. It sounds... I'm going to go... Is this... I'm going to go with Kirby 64.
Yeah.
The Crystal Sharks.
Absolutely.
Another one of the best sounding games on the 64.
Well,
love that fast Kirby music.
Well done. That was from Geku Kitsune.
I want to do drugs and listen to that song.
This one comes from Outlawed, and I believe this is Outlawed's first submission.
Well, thank you very much, Outlawed. I don't think that's right, but thank you anyway.
Okay, maybe not.
This is so quiet.
All right, give me a minute.
I know this. Yeah, I definitely know this.
Oh, wait, this is...
What's this one?
Switch and Wii U.
Oh, this is Axiom Verge.
Yes.
I knew it sounded familiar.
And I really don't think this was Outlawed's first song. Sorry.
Okay.
I thought there was something. Anyway, this one comes.
Hey, we all make mistakes. It's okay.
Thanks.
Just some of us make them more than others.
That's right. I've made a few really big mistakes in my life. This one comes from Steel Diver.
Okay. All right. Now, don't say anything. I'm dancing around the Super Nintendo N64 GBA era. It's one of those.
Yep.
All right. It's not clear enough for Super Nintendo. I'm going to take that out. Apparently, I'm wrong.
You said don't say anything.
Okay, I'm asking you now. I'm taking out Super Nintendo. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I'm gonna go GBA.
Yes. Ms. Beaverhausen got it.
This first party doesn't sound like it.
No. If you don't get it right, that's okay, because we all make mistakes.
I got nothing. I can't even place like what kind of game it is. It's licensed?
It is.
All right, I got something. Licensed on GBA. Still around today?
Yeah.
SpongeBob.
No.
Looney Tunes.
No.
It's not like a Marvel thing.
Nope.
Still popular today?
Yep.
Not Simpsons. Oh, Simpsons. Simpsons what? On GBA? I don't know. Just The Simpsons? No? Hit and Run?
Nope.
What the hell's on?
Krusty something?
No, that's on. Well, maybe it was Krusty Super Funhouse.
Nope.
This is The Simpsons. What Simpsons game is on GBA? Some boxing game.
Nope.
I have Bart's Nightmare didn't make it there, did it?
Well, this isn't it.
Can I get half a point for getting Simpsons?
Yeah, Hit and Run was close.
Okay, go ahead.
Road Rage.
Smack and walk.
Man, I would have never got that.
Dear me.
What?
You love The Simpsons and you love video games.
I don't love bad licensed games.
No, he clearly doesn't, Mom Brain, or else
Yeah.
he would have gotten it. He's a phony.
I even whittled down that it was GBA.
That real stumper came from Steel Diver. Great job. This one comes from Tony de la Mancha. Oh, let me turn it down just in case.
Is this portable? Switch?
Yeah, it's portable and Switch.
Portable and Switch.
Mm-hmm.
So 3DS and Switch?
Yeah, I believe so.
What?
Separate entries.
So not the same game, you're saying?
Right, but
Is this a way forward game?
nope.
Choo Choo Rocket?
Nope.
That wasn't on 3DS. What are you thinking? Not first party, is it?
It is first party.
What?
Is it the tennis game? What are
Nope.
we talking about?
It's okay, so it's not Rhythm Heaven. It's not Wario.
Nope.
Not Zelda.
Nope.
Not Mario.
Nope.
Pokemon. Always Pokemon.
Nope.
Not Animal Crossing.
It is.
Oh. New Horizons?
Yeah, and New Leaf.
What is this?
KK Disco.
Is it really?
Yeah, I
Where
think
is-
I might ask KK for that tonight.
Without KK singing, I just can't get it.
Yep. Maybe if you played it a little more.
Maybe.
Maybe if you played it a little more. All right. So that was from Tony de la Mancha and it was KK Disco. Here's the last piece of music for today. King Telja got it.
I got nothing. I really don't know.
Give up.
Yeah.
Slay the Spire.
Oh, I haven't played that. Okay, I don't feel bad about that.
I think, was it Guy Bones that was keeping score for us?
I think we got them all.
Oh, sure.
No need to check, really.
No, certainly not.
What's someone keeping score?
Guy Bones says 6.5 out of 10.
I'll take it. That's good. Not as good as our 8 couple weeks ago, but I'll take it. Link Triforce says, I love stale cupcakes. Please don't touch them.
Stale cupcakes. Yeah.
All right, everybody. That's it. We did another one. Thanks for watching.
Are you all right?
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Have a good week.
If you're going to enjoy fireworks, please do it responsibly.
Be safe. Be careful. Don't. Yeah. Just be careful.
Be safe. Be careful. Don't. Yeah. All right. Be a rip. Oh.
Wait a minute. Is there there's a new disaster movie with Gerard Butler called Greenland?
I did not know that. Hello, Solid Master Link. I didn't see you earlier. Now I feel bad.
Oh my God, this cat.
Well,
how do you feel about the formula or the format of a trailer before the trailer?
I hate it.
Yeah, right?
I hate it.
Okay.
I was just thinking about that the other day. I don't need this little 5-second trailer for what I'm about to see.
Yeah.
I understand that they do that for like quick adverts on things, but I don't need to see it on the trailer that I'm just about to watch.
Right.
Why
Like
is that a thing?
Or like, yeah. It's obnoxious.
I don't
I mean,
understand
it's not terrible, but like it is.
It's terrible.
Unnecessary.
It's completely unnecessary. If they're showing it as like a quick little ad on some social media or something, that's fine. But for the actual trailer that I'm about to watch, you're going to show me a trailer before that? Why? I don't need it.
For it, yeah.
I don't.
It's from the producers of John Wick and The Town and something else.
John Wick in the Town.
In the Town. John Wick in the Town.
Steel Diver says, I hate the stuff they show at movie theaters before the trailers. I have to say that one of my dirty little secrets is I love those things because they're usually so cheesy.
I love everything that happens in a movie theater.
I love the little, like, first look. Here's your behind the scenes look at the filming of The King of Queens or something like that.
Oh, that stuff?
Yeah.
The First or whatever they call it.
The Coca-Cola shorts.
Yeah. Or like trivia. Yeah, just like Steel Diver put in the chat right now.
You've been watching Isn't one of them is like The First or something?
First look.
I'm Maria Menounos.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. I'm Maria Menounos. Thanks for watching First Look at your whatever theater.
I love our movie theater, and I miss it.
Yeah. There's one. So right before the trailer, it's now the lead up into the trailer. I've only seen it like twice, and it's only at certain theaters. But it's an ad for like a Chevy pickup truck or a Ford pickup truck.
Oh, no.
I like it, though.
No.
Because it shows the truck in profile, and then it says, because any solid truck is needed before a trailer or something like that, and it comes back, and it's towing a trailer of movie trailers.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about. The frog's name is Rudy Duty.
He used to live in my mother's like little piece of furniture that was in the dining room that was full of like the candles she was not using yet. And so he smelled like all kinds of like potpourri and candles for a very long time.
I guess you can recharge him if he does lose his scent, right?
I could send him to Florida.
Yes. Well, I mean, I think we can make a drawer of candles here. All right, everybody. Oh, I gotta do this.
I'm not in the Discord. What's everybody doing?
All right, everybody.
All right.
We're getting out of here.
Everyone,
Thanks for
have
watching.
A good day. Be
Thanks for
careful
listening.
If you're around fireworks, yeah.
We'll see you. There we go.
Also, be careful going out. Wear a mask. Put it on.
We'll see you next week. Have a lovely night. Have a lovely evening. Hang out with friends and family virtually, or if you're doing otherwise safely.
Socially distanced.
And we'll see you next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. Careful, y'all.
Did you say